Hi guys, in this video we are going to discuss how to build a delete API in Spring Boot. Okay, so in my requirement I need to delete the one record based on the roll number. So here I have the three records like one roll number 1, 2, 3. So in these records I need to delete the three record. So based on the roll number I need to delete this record. So this operation we need to perform by using the Spring application. Okay, so now we have the Spring Boot application. In this we need to define the API. So the purpose of API is delete the student info by roll number. So what we are going to do, delete the student information by roll number. Okay, delete student information by roll number. So the input we are going to give is roll number. So we are not expecting anything outside, so that's why we are giving void. The method return type is void. We need to provide the implementation. Where we are going to provide implementation, we are going to provide the implementation in the student service. Okay, here we are going to provide the information implementation for the delete student info by row number. So here first of all we need to get the record is available or not. How we are going to get the record is available? By using the roll number. We have the student repository, we have the student repository. And the student repository we have a method. What is the method? Find by roll number. So based on the roll number we are going to get the student record. So here what we are going to do it, we need to delete this one. So in student repository we have the one default method. What is the default method? Is the delete is the default method. In the default method we need to pass this entity. So we got the entity, right? We got the entity based on the roll number. So if you fire this query, you will get the student entry record. The record we need to pass the input of the delete method. So this is the delete method which is the default method provided by JPA. So this delete method we delete the this record. Okay, now we completed the implementation. Now we need to write the rest for this. Okay, now we are going to write the rest for this. What is the method type? We need to enter the delete mapping. Delete mapping. So which method we need to call? The implementation where exists on the student service. On the student service we have the delete student by roll number. So how we are going to pass the roll number? We are going to pass the roll number as a path variable. Okay, path variable. We are going to pass the roll number as a path variable. So now our implementation is completed successfully. What we did? So what we implemented the one API. The API purpose is delete the student info by roll number. The input of this method is in roll number. By using this roll number, we need to delete the record from the table. So the return type, we are not expecting anything. That's why we are keeping as a return type as a void. So what we did in the implementation, first step, we are going to get the student record based on the mobile number. So this is a find by roll number query on the student repository. So by executing this query, we are going to get the student record. After getting the student record, we have the one default method which is exists on the JPA repository. The input of this delete method is student entity. Once you pass the student entry, so the repository will perform the delete operation. The repository will perform the delete operation. It will delete the record. Further, to expose that logic, business logic, to expose that business, what is our business logic? Delete the student record based on the mobile number. For that purpose, we write the logic. So this is our business logic. So now we need to expose this business logic to outside. How we are going to expose the business logic to outside? We need to write the REST API. Okay, this is the REST API. What is the purpose of this method? We are going to delete the record. So that's why we are going to give delete mapping. Okay, we are going to call the student service. So why you are calling student service? The actual logic exists on the student service, delete student info by roll number, right? So now we are going to run this application. Okay, so now I'm going to copy this. Okay, I think we did a mistake, guys. So what we did, so actually, so we need to pass the path variable, right? We need to pass the path variable. So here we need to pass the path variable. If you don't pass the path variable, it won't accept to us. We need to pass the path variable. This is the way of the passing path variable. We'll show you how to pass the request parameter also now. Okay, first we'll check with the path variable. Okay, so now we are going to take the, this is the base URL, guys. So our application, this is the base URL. Okay, after base URL we need to pass the one. So what is our base URL? So this is going to be application running IP, and port is the base URL. After that we are not mentioning any path here, so that's why there is no need to mention any path. So but we need to pass the path variable. Path variable is the roll number. Roll number I'm passing 1. What is the method type? Method type is the delete. Method type is the delete. I'm sending the request. See, I'm getting the 200 status. I'm getting the 200 status. Okay, we can see we have the record 1. Now I'm going to execute this query. We'll see the record is deleted or not. So you can see the record is deleted. I'm going to try one more time. So I'm going to keep 2 here. So I'm going to keep here. I'm going to hit again. So you see I got the 200 status again. Now if I refresh this table, so I can able to see one record. So delete is working as expected. How it is working? Once you give the hit from the postman, it will reach us to the controller. Okay, after reaching to the controller, so based on your method type and the path, it matches the respective method. After matching the respective method, it will call the student service delete the business logic, right? How you write, so it will call to this method. This, in this method we provide the implementation. So first we find the record. So once the record is available, so we are passing to the, we are calling the delete method. So the delete is the default method which is existing on the JPA repository. So we are going to use this method to perform the delete operation. The input of this method is entity. Which entity? In this case, student entity. Okay, based on the repository, the input will be changed. So if it is student repository, we are going to student entity. If it is employee repository, we are going to process the employee entity. Okay, so now here we are passing the path variable, right? Instead of the path variable, we have one more option also. What is a request param? Request param is also one of the way we can pass the data to the API. Okay, so if you pass the request param, the mentioning of the variable name in the URL is not required. Okay, you just mention the request param. After mentioning the request param, I'm restarting the server. After restarting it, take this roll number. Here you need to enter the question mark and key equal to value. Key equal to value. Okay. Now I gave the hit. Now you can change. See, I provided the 3. So now the 3 is deleted. So what is the difference? If it is path, you just pass the slash with like slash and value. Slash and value. But if it is a request param, you need to pass the value in the form of the key value. First of all, you need to mention the question mark. After the question mark, you need to give the key and the value. So this is the difference. The purpose of the both are to pass the data in the URL. To pass the data in the URL, we are going to use either path variable or request param. The only difference is where the way of passing data is different. If it is path variable, simply you can append the data. If it is simply you can append the data to URL. But if it is request param, you need to pass the data in the form of the key value. The starting should be question mark, and we need to pass the data in the form of the key equal to value. If you are passing one more value variable, you need to keep the and symbol, and key value, like that. So path variable, you just like simply, so this is the base URL. This is the base URL. After the base URL, this is the path. This is the roll number. So after you are passing the one. So directly you are appending, you are passing the data like this. But if you have the multiple path variables, you just need to append like this one. If you have multiple path variables. But in case of the request param, in case of the request param, so after base URL, you need to check if any path is available for the method. So now here we don't have any path, right? So this is the URL. After, you need to keep the question mark, and after the question mark, you need to keep the roll number equal to 1. And if we have the one more request param, if we have the one more request param, like like this, if you have the one more request param like this, so if you have the one more request param like this, you need to pass the data after 1 and name equal to Shiva. Like this, you need to pass. So this is the different, guys. The purpose of the both path variable and request param is we need to pass the data in the URL. In this case, we are going to use path variable and request param, but the way of the passing is different. The way of the passing is different. Okay. I hope you understand how to perform the delete API. So in the next video, we are going to discuss how to work with the put API. That is going to be the last video, guys. So this is the Spring Boot quick review tutorial. And later on, we are going to come up with the, briefly for the Spring and Spring Boot and Core Java tutorial. I hope you like this tutorial. Thank you for watching.